My thoughts. Joe has grown hugely popular on YouTube because he focuses on the entertainment aspect. His reviews always have highly polished, highly produced comedy skit segments that have literally nothing to do with the content of a review. But he started out doing it, got recognition for it, and now has millions of subs because of it. Would he have gotten anywhere nearly as popular without his hook of doing these skits? Who knows, but it certainly has worked. The common YouTube viewer doesn't care about legitimacy, quality, or the like. They want a quick laugh, and they get that with Joe's content. By no means am I saying that's a bad thing. He certainly found his niche that works, and he's stuck with it, and gotten very popular for it. In addition, there are a group of people who do watch Joe's reviews for the actual review content, so he's gotten people from all camps there. Joe networked early on. He was part of that guy with the glasses before I'd ever spoken to them, or even made a YouTube video, and was already out there in the video game conference scene getting his name out. He has great management and contacts in the industry. He knows how to play the game. Similarly, he has tons of sponsorship. I'm sure you've seen his videos where he's mysteriously promoting something like an Alienware computer, etc. As a result of doing that public thing. Me? I'm just some guy who played games at home, got popular for it, made some good money for a couple of years, and now I'm in a totally different place. If I wanted to play the game, I easily could have been attending every single Street Fighter tournament, press event, etc. Machinima offered to get me into a few events that I've declined in the past year or so, and gotten that kind of recognition. I didn't want that life. Constant travel was something I did for a few years, but once my back injury happened, I knew it wasn't going to last. I much rather preferred being the go-to guy for full game playthroughs and honest reviews than covering every major press event, gaming news story. Bottom line, Joe's goals and mine are completely different. My ultimate goal was to get the hell out of Connecticut, move to a nice home where taxes were much lower, stabilize my income, and then see how I can improve my business. As in, that was the highest priority before anything else. I'm not a bachelor anymore and my health isn't superb, so I don't have the crazy flexibility drive like Joe to get his name out there, travel, and become a name in the online gaming business. And yeah, ultimately that's what led to me being the easy target for a YouTube hate movement. I was a guy gaming from home and making a good living doing it, while Joe arguably was traveling everywhere, covering events, etc. like crazy and getting his name out there. We're two completely different people. My opinion? He's a better entertainer. I'm a better gamer reviewer overall. But people don't generally go to YouTube for anything but free entertainment, so it's no surprise why he's much more popular. True, and I never said he didn't. But when he gives Witcher 3 10 out of 10, obviously because he was massively paid to promote the game, even being flown out to the studio, etc., during development, despite admitting it has flaws, then gives a game like Batman Arkham Knight a lower score than Titanfall. He falls prey to what all mainstream reviewers do. Great points in the review, but awfully unscaled review scores that end up misrepresenting a game. Say what you will about my reviews, unentertaining, too long, etc., but the scores I give games are always justified by the content of the review, and the games are scaled appropriately. If the PC version of the game actually is shit and that's what he played, then that's totally valid. Similar to my Witcher 3 experience on PS4. Although I'd still think that any version of Arkham Knight, with tons of content versus the extremely limited content of Titanfall at launch, would beat out Titanfall score-wise. But again, I don't think Joe scales his scores like I do, as seen with Witcher 3, where he admits the game isn't perfect, but gives it a perfect 10. I certainly wouldn't do that unless, as I've said previously, I felt that the game was best in class, or something so good that the flaws didn't bog down my experience. The overcomplicated, antiquated combat system of Witcher 3 definitely holds it back in comparison to other games I've played recently, so even if I'd played a flawless PC version of it, I wouldn't have given it a 10. Joe did, so obviously his judgment is far different from mine in that regard. Oh yeah, and of course the fact that CD Projekt kissed his ass, flew him out there, etc. Let's face it, Joe does not just hand out 10s even to games he thinks are great regularly. But in my review, I blatantly state that my score is based off of not liking hipster culture, and having it massively shoved down my throat gave me a worse experience overall, and that if you like hipster culture, you'd like the game more. So I have zero idea how you'd think that my score was invalid. I justified it as I always do, just because it was a game design choice about what graphic design, music, etc. would be used instead of something like gameplay doesn't make it any less valid of a point to make. Okay, since the purpose of this thread seems to have been fulfilled, to get my unbiased opinions about the difference between myself and Angry Joe out, and it's caused tons of completely nonsensical drama, thread is closed. Congrats. Yet again, something that was perfectly logical discussion degraded into crap, mostly because people can't take the fact that I speak honestly about things. 10 out of 10 means perfect. That's the definition of 100%. Full quality, no flaws. To give a game that admittedly has flaws that score is not only dishonest, it's suspect. And the fact that he got his ass kissed by the company is suspect, as he usually does not give full 10 scores to anything. Giving Witcher 3 a 10, in my opinion, was not only dishonest, but a misrepresentation of the game for hype's sake. Sorry, my review scale doesn't mean 100% is perfect. Means your review scale is a flawed piece of shit, because that's what 100% means. If Joe has a problem with my opinion, there are many methods by which he can contact me, and we can either discuss this in private or public, I don't care which. But the bottom line is, all he did was read misinformation, as usual, from my detractors and react foolishly, which I've done as well, so I'm not innocent, and apparently insulted me on Twitter. Oh well, I certainly don't care. I know my reviews are legit, unbiased, and scaled, and that's all I care about. Thread closed.